Hey everybody, the Retwiral here, and welcome back to more of Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Now, fingers crossed, I can finish the game. I only have 2 more chapters to get through, so it all really depends on how long they take, and how much dialogue there is. Either way, let's go. This is actually the only session I've had of this game where there's been music playing. Normally it's just complete and utter silence. Either way, we're still in the Theatre Neutralis. This is right after exposing Quercus Alba for being the leader of the smuggling ring, but we're not able to intervene because of the extraterritoriality or something. Yeah, I can't believe it, sir. Extraterritoriality. Yes, and there is nothing we can really do about that. In the end, we didn't have enough authority to bring him to justice. I can't believe that even though we know he's the boss, we can't lay a finger on him. I know. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sorry to skip out on you, but I've got some business to take care of. Oh. Okay. If we can't even give an evil guy like him a slap on the wrist, then what the heck were laws created for? What good are they? If the law can't help us, then I'll go as the Yatagarasu and take care of this myself. Don't you dare. Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry, that was a bit too harsh. I know how you feel, sir. We're trying to take on an ambassador, after all. Hey, KK. I'm doing good today, thanks. How about yourself? And he did tell us earlier to get out of the theatre. This is kind of their country, I guess. But I feel like I've been slapped across the face for just doing my job. What am I going to do? Should I retreat for now and formulate a better plan of attack? Who's holding it? Kay! Come on, everyone. We can't give up yet. That's good, I'm glad to hear that. Okay. I want you to think about something for a sec. We've never let up for even a second, and as long as we don't stop investigating, we might find the rotten treasure hidden here. She's right. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You're right, Kay. Very well, let us reopen the investigation and see what we find. Come on, Kay. Right behind you. Hey! Okay, then I'll go check out Babal a bit more, sir. And Franziska will go with him, I'm guessing? And I have something that I need to investigate further in Alabast. Oh, right, never mind. Now then. Before I gather any more information, I should do a bit of housekeeping. Oh right, yeah, we're getting rid of our stuff. Passion flowers, data erased from my organizer. Alright. Investigation time! So, Ambassador Alba seemed agitated over something. So, agitated Alba, I sense that there is something he doesn't want us to investigate. Probably. I wonder why. There are 2 special circumstances that surround the Ambassador. First, the embassy itself has extraterritorial rights. If something happens on Alabastian soil, we are unable to legally prosecute him. Cool, it sounds like embassies are the perfect place to steal whatever you want. And Murder Damask II run a smuggling operation and make counterfeit bills, apparently. But I thought all the counterfeiting was done by Mr. Cochin in Babal. Probably. We don't really know. Yes, he apparently used the embassy's coupon printing press to do it. So Cochin's counterfeiting op used Babalese embassy's printing press and Babalese ink to make counterfeit bills. But it's the same story over there anyway. Babal also has extraterritorial rights. Which brings me to my next point, the Ambassador's extraterritorial rights. Those rights are effective even in our own country. Really? No matter what happens, he can never be tried in our courts. He retains some very special rights indeed. Basically, no matter what wrongs he may commit, we can't bring him to trial here. So I guess we really don't stand a chance, do we? We might stand a chance if we can somehow nullify either one of his special rights. Okay. Well, I suppose it's time to investigate things. This was taken just before the two ambassadors gave their bouquets to the Steel Samurai. Wait, is it just my imagination? Or is there something in this picture that I've seen before? Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Wait, really? So there's something here that's... I'm trying to see what it is. I mean, the only thing that I can actually look at is the bouquets. It appears to be a bouquet of Persian cyclamens and roses. Wow, you even know the exact species. I never would have figured you for an expert on flowers. That it's all because of those flowers that old lady sends me every month. Just look at me, I sound like some sort of botanist. So, what exactly is this yellow flower here? That one, I'm not sure. What? You don't know? As far as I can recall, I've never seen a flower like this before. But I feel as though I've seen this shape somewhere before. Alright, whatever. There's probably something there, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, do I have anything I can actually connect? Wait, agitated Alba, Cochin's counterfeiting up, and would those two go together? Use Bobbly's Embassy's printing press. I think they do go together. The only thing they really have in common is they use the same building. We know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the Embassy's press, but the necessary materials, such as the Bobbly's ink and paper, must have been hidden in a secure location. But what do you think would have happened if the renovations had begun? Well, he probably had to find a better hiding place or get rid of it all. Right, so we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plate and bills disposal. The reason Mr. Cochin was killed is the ringleader of the smuggling operation. Based on what we know, who do you think was the one with the most to gain? Wait, oh, Callias, that's his name. Wait, so what we know, who do you think was the one with the most to gain? Alba. It's the one person who has been erasing all evidence of the smuggling operation. From both embassies, the co-conspirator who is mopping up. Ambassador Alba. Ambassador Alba had a very strong motive to kill Manny Cochin. So motive to kill Cochin, Alba could conveniently place all of the guilt for the smuggling onto Cochin. I don't think... Did these go together? Probably... Actually, if it's something he didn't want us to investigate, it could be Cochin. Maybe. And he does have a motive. Let's see, does that bear any fruit? It does. The cause of an ambassador's agitation, the rotten treasure we may find, and the motive for killing Mr. Cochin. Miss Yu said it herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. If we were to take her words at face value, then the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Mr. Cochin was killed. Then you mean Ambassador Alba is the real killer? But I thought the two of them were friends. Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Cochin was the one who first betrayed their friendship? Oh, I get it. Wasn't Mr. Cochin pushing really hard for Mr. Paleno to be ambassador after the reunification? Yes, and that was the real reason why he wanted to steal Alabast's Primaduck's statue. So Mr. Cochin hired Damas II to go steal it for him. But when Ambassador Alba found out what he was up to, he killed Mr. Cochin? It's definitely a possibility at this point. Those two really were thinking of no one but themselves. But the question now is, how did he do it? Ambassador Alba was in Alabast. But Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babal, right? Right. And that is what we must solve next. So I suppose that's that. So okay, there's something suspicious. Something in this picture I've seen before. I mean, he said something about something about the yellow flower. That one I'm not sure. Feel as though the shape... I've seen the shape somewhere before. Is that any of my evidence? I don't know. Unless it's this. Oh, hang on. Oh, it is! It's that flower. So can I deduce that? I'm not entirely sure. Connected to any of the evidence I hold. Indeed it is. Babal's national symbol is the butterfly, and Alabast's is the flower. It would appear that someone is employing the old hide a tree in a forest trick. What are you mumbling to yourself about? Wait, what? The handle on this knife? Yes, it's the handle that was supposed to be on the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. The weapon that killed him was carried through the Theatrum Neutralis. In the very bouquet Ambassador Alba was carrying. Oh, sneaky. The flower motif. That's what that is. It looks like one of the flower petals is missing. Take a look at the weapon itself. It's missing the exact same petal. And the knife in this photo is most definitely the same as the murder weapon. Oh. I believe we now understand why Ambassador Alba was so nervous and agitated. It must have something to do with where Mr. Cochin was killed. A place where the Alabastian ambassador was likely to meet the Babalese Mr. Cochin. Huh. The place where Ambassador Alba happened to have committed the murder is... here? Would it be the Theatre Neutralis? I mean, that's where they both met the Steel Samurai, was it not?
Take that!
The only place that makes sense is here, at the Theatrum Neutralis. What? Here? The Goodwill event was being held here today, correct? So the only place that the both of them would have been is in here. Or in is here. But if that's the case, then everything changes. This theatre isn't actually Alabastian land. So that wipes out one of those extraterritorial rights he has. It makes logical sense, in which case, it is a reason for us to investigate further. So what should we check out? Let's see. I believe we should check the immigration records for both Alabast and Babal post-haste. Babal's records should be easy to obtain, however the problem will be Alabast. I wonder if they would allow us to see the records despite the order to vacate. Francisca! I'm already one head a step of you. Oh my god, I can't talk. I'm already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgeworth. Francisca. I have here the security footage from both Alabast and Babal. You would do well to take a look at its contents. Okay, we got security footage. Nice. You move fast. Von Karma strives to be perfect in every way. It's not in my nature to keep on retreating like this. I took the liberty of looking over the Babal investigation reports as well. From now on, you will make no excuse to back down or say that we can't solve this case. I'm sorry about earlier. We won't be beaten. Because my cute little subordinate is going to try his very best, isn't he? Hasn't she patronised me enough already for a lifetime? So, this video contains footage from Alabast's immigration screening area. I really hope there's something in there that we can use. So that's 522. 523. Which minute's footage should I examine? So, 5:21 PM had nothing happening. 5:22 had Quercus Alba. 5:23 was with the Steel Samurai. We'll try the Steel Samurai first. I'll just switch screens. What could I examine? I mean, I can examine everything by the looks of things. On the outside, he may look like the Steel Samurai. Oh, whoops. But on the inside, it's just Larry. Other than the fact that it's that good for nothing, nothing else seems out of order. Wait, you know as well as I that anything can happen if he's involved. You're not suggesting that someone else could be under that mask, are you? No, I don't think that. Just before he entered here, he gave me an autograph, so I'm certain it's Larry under there. lumps. Oh god. What about the cart? Doesn't something about this lump's shape strike you as odd? Huh? Isn't it supposed to be this shape? No, there is clearly something odd about the bulge. If only we had the pushcart itself, we could compare and confirm my hunch. Ah. Now let's check the footage from Babal's security camera. I hope it shows us something good. It's only 2 minutes later. Phooey, there wasn't a single sign of a suspicious person or anything. That right there is a contradiction. Huh? Did I miss something? You didn't miss anything. Because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Cochin entering his own country. But wasn't his body found in Babal? It would appear that the true face of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself. Ah. So Cochin never actually went back through, which means he was killed here. Oh god. Oh, right, great. Ambassador Alba. I thought I'd ask for you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I thought I should let you know that this theatre sits on my country soil. You've had your fun, and I've enjoyed our little game. I dare say that you've even achieved a new high score. However, once you've recorded a score, the same game can never be replayed again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done, and it's game over. No. Jesus, everybody's tuning in. Where do you think you're going at this time of night? After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regret. So I'm heading to the airport now to return home. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There are still too many issues we need to discuss with you. You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it. Oh, Paleno! Please, may I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba? Ambassador Paleno? Even just a teeny tiny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationship between our countries is in a precarious situation, you know. Very well. If you insist. We'll play just one more round with them and see what they want. Not that they'll get any farther. Ambassador Paleno. Mr. Edgeworth. All I wish for is the normalization of relationships between our two countries. But there is one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do what's right. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me about? I do have a flight to catch, after all. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just one question. That's more than enough. I only have one question anyway. I want to hear your alibi about how you couldn't have killed Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, I see. You seem to have a good hand this time around. This should be fun. This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. I won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Alright. Ambassador Alba's alibi. Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion here. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Cochin and I were fellow smugglers. But to get to the point, I was in Alabas the whole time. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babal. That is my alibi. Bum, bum, bum. So that is your alibi? That's correct, it's simply not possible for me to have committed a crime in Babal. Now that we cleared that up, I'd appreciate it if you would move out of my way. Oh, no. I said hold it. What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question. You did. But you still have yet to really answer my one question. What? Until you tell us the truth, I will refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing. Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer. Miles Edgeworth, as my subordinate and representative of this country's prosecutors, you are forbidden to lose. Of course, that is something I've understood from the start. That guy's the one who ordered my father killed, isn't he? Yes, I believe so. The goal of the first Yatagarasu was the capture of the smuggling ring's leader. My father and Uncle Bed. Their legacy will live on, through me. So that's why we've just got to catch him, okay? We will, I promise. Now, Ambassador Alba, let's have at the truth now, shall we? No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same. Oh god, is this going to be one of those where I can't press everything? If I'm limited to pressing? I'm going to try just pressing the first. If it fucks me over, then, well, it fucks me over. Being the leader of a smuggling ring while taking on the duties of ambassadorship. Don't you think that the combination is more than enough reason for suspicion? Then there is the matter of the crossbow arrows and the Primadux statues. Oh, wow. Objection! God, he sounds weird. All of that is nothing more than your flights of fancy. What do you mean by that? Mr. Coach and I were fellow smugglers. I really want him to talk more. Objection! It's not a hypothesis. Earlier we proved it to be what happened. Well, let's leave that to one side for now. Because it doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh? So you really had no reason to kill Mr. Cochin? If you want to suppose I had one, then why not? I'll indulge you. After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Even if that's how you see things, I'd appreciate it. If you would take me seriously. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. I suppose you are in a bit of a pickle. Very well. A game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I had no motive to kill. Now let's see you disprove it. How can he stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being? Well, I'm not going to stand by and just watch him get away with his crimes. In that case, what motive would I have had to kill my co-conspirator? Where's the note? Request to seal the Primadux statue. That's the motive right there. You would lose your Primadux statue. If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Cochin had betrayed you. But you had your own reason too, namely you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into a mess. Or into this mess. I don't believe this. You have a bad... is that penchant? For telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your argument. I never use guesswork in moving my cases forward. It's been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of the note is a request calling for the theft of Alabast's Primadux statue. By killing him and pushing all of the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him. My god. Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or a thought alone can't kill. Isn't that right? I didn't expect him to resort to playing the semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you'll excuse me... Wait, what? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Oh no. Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a little bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man Manny was, he was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death. That is something for Babal to figure out, and something for which I have no relation to. Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Paleno. I'm very sorry, but it seems that now even my voice falls on deaf ears. There's no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Paleno. We must find some way to stop him from leaving. It seems there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. Who's stopping him this time? Oh! Kate did. Nice. Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba. Okay. Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, the Atticarazu's legacy will live on through me. Yes, but how do you suggest we stop him from leaving? You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this? No, and why should I recognize that tattered old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before? 7 years ago. That is a clue my father, Bern Faraday, left for us. Did you say Burn Faraday? Mr. Faraday's organizer. Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG-8 incident. The one in which he wrote about the Yatagarasu's key. Yes, this organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss Yu kill 7 years ago. I have no idea what you were talking about. You say that like it was related to me. Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did. What an amusing little girl you are. Well, that sort of trickery won't work on me. If you won't believe me, then take a look at this. What is that toy there? Wait, is that Little Thief? That's... This thievery device was used by the Yatagarasu, or rather, by my father. 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy. What? These two pieces of evidence that hold information the Yatagarasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to Alabast, right behind you. Little girl, get to the point. I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence. Yatagarasu. Ever the thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain any information on his dirty dealings? It's nothing case-breaking, really. And then it was just a bluff. Even if it was, we still can't let all of the info my father and Uncle Bad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him. Those two pieces. Aren't they keepsakes of your father? It's okay. I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end. Okay. When the going gets tough, someone's gotta be there to put the wind back in your sails. After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all, barring a person like me. Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. Then, even if you use all the power of Ambassador Paleno's office, you won't stop me. I can't let this opportunity Chaos created for me go to waste. Okay, another testimony. Alright, here's Alibi Part 2. The last time I met with Mr. Cochin was here at the Theatre of Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabast the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again after that. So you see, there is no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people were practically begging, I'll allow you to question me. What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter. We can't allow this chance to escape us. We'll warn you, though. You've reached the end of my patience. Oh god. Waste my time with any inane questions, and you will be punished. So any needless pressing or presenting will cost me more to our case. In that case, the only thing we can do is present the correct evidence. Understood? Of course. I don't intend to let him intimidate me. Oh man, I know Mr. Cochin was killed before he returned to Babal. In which case, there is only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. Yeah. Oh man, I like pressing everything though, because it results in, you know, dialogue, which is cool. But I have a feeling if I pressed any of these, he won't give you anything useful. He'll just say, "This is worthless," and then say bye-bye to your health bar. There is no time span in which I could have killed him. I disagree. Where's that commemorative photo? There it is. Boosh! The murder weapon can be seen in Mr. Alba's bouquet. I like how I just do the head shake. I'd like you to take a look at this picture. It's a rather nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, alright. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you who committed the murder. Come again. This is the knife that killed Mr. Cochin. I see you recognize it, as well you should. For it was you who brought it to this theatre. You hid it amongst the flowers you were to give to the Steel Samurai, meaning that you killed Manny Cochin here at the theatre. I like grrr. Of course he'll laugh it off. It's time for me to catch my flight. We're not through yet. My god. It's a game over for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it's game over. But I thank you for the entertainment. No matter how passionately you orate, the end result will still be the same. I won't be returning to this country ever again. That's right. This man is an ambassador, and he has extraterritorial rights. No matter how hard we chase after him, we won't be able to have him tried in court. Yes, that's exactly the face you should be making. The faith of a worthless cur. Damn. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell. The courts... Is there no one who can lay a finger on this man? Is this really the end? Hey! It's Lang! Oh! Damn! Agent Lang. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh, wow. Get out of my way. My plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Alba. I'm through playing games with you people. You can't touch me. If you do, it would spark an international incident, Agent Lang. Sorry, but no, it wouldn't. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Good job holding the fort down here until I got back. Hmm? So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me this nonsense and let me through. Langzy says, before aiming for the throat, chew the neck shield off first. Interpol headquarters and the Imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabast. Took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. Oh! The Imperial household? What have you done? Ha 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 ha! You've been relieved of your duties as ambassador, Mr. Alba. What? Damn! Oh, Jesus. So now he could actually be tried. Effective today, effective right now. And you have Mr. Prosecutor's videotape to thank for this. The video the Yatagarasu protected. You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador. In that case, I thought I'd strip you of that title. You underestimated me, a descendant of the founder of the Tainment philosophy, Lang Zi. 4,000 years of deeply entrenched connections and networks around the world have really paid off. Oh damn. It can't be. I don't believe this. My ambassadorship has been revoked. Looks like you're finally coming to grips with your new standing. Looks like he's turned docile again. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield. What a shame. I'd so wanted to use my whip on him. Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador. Yeah, more so, you're just a smuggler. Do you really think you can still pull that on us now? We've already ripped away the mask and seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba. Oh, now he's transforming again! Oh, wow. No, I won't be stopped now. He still intends to fight us? So what if I am no longer an ambassador? You still don't have any evidence on me. The fact remains that you cannot arrest me. I'd expect no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood. You say that I killed Mr. Cochin in the theatre? But even if it's true that there was a knife in my bouquet, I left that bouquet in the theatre, so anyone could have taken it out from there and used it, right? Besides, the claim that he was killed here itself is odd. After all, wasn't his body discovered in Babal? You claiming that I carried his body all the way over there? Preposterous. I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready? Because this is no game. This is war. Oh damn. Oh, I like this. So can I actually, like, press on anything now? So that'd be nice if I can. Alright, part 3, here we go. I killed Mr. Cochin in this theatre using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. I left that bouquet in the theatre. Anyone could have taken the knife from there. Besides, Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babal, right? There is no way for me to have transported his body from the theatre to Babal. Look, don't you think you've had enough fun with me? You've already stolen my ambassadorship from me. Would you have me surrender too? You have no plans to ever return to this country, isn't that right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you? As if I care. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Boot this guy out of the embassy, and we can finally end everything. I know, and I will give it my all to see that he leaves in handcuffs. Without the title of ambassador, he is just another witness. Yes, just another witness. Oh my god. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get this guy. Get him good. I wonder if they understand that all I can do is present evidence to the testimony. Yeah, I can't exactly, like, you know, do much. So, rebuttal. So, right, I'm gonna try pressing this. If it hurts, then I won't press any further. That's right. As I explained earlier, the commemorative photo shows that you had the knife on your personage. You have no proof that the bouquet was prepared by me, isn't that right? Excuse me? The fact that there was a knife in the bouquet was something I wasn't aware of. Yeah, of course. What a pathetic excuse. The weapon that was used is one of your national treasures. It isn't exactly something anyone other than you could touch, let alone take. I allowed some of my trusted subordinates to handle them. It could have been my secretary. You're an even bigger slimeball than I thought. You would push the guilt of Mr. Cochin's murder onto one of your subordinates? In any case, the fact that the knife was in the bouquet means nothing. Okay, so pushing's fine. Pressing even. Yeah, might as well just get some extra dialogue out of it, why not? You still wish to deny your actions? And you still wish to deny reality and accuse me of murder? What? I am not in denial. Even though he's not an ambassador anymore, he's still got a real bad attitude. I believe it's because he's no longer ambassador that he can let himself speak freely. And if he's not holding anything back, then neither should I. Wait! For the sake of the case, please refrain from what I think you're about to do. Quite the pair of frightening women you are, but I digress. What the... Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babal. Indeed it was. Even if he was found in Babal, he was killed somewhere else. Stop bluffing, because you can't prove what you're claiming. If this were a court-martial in my country, you'd have already been removed from the room. Are you taunting us on purpose? Because I'd be happy to show you my claws. Jesus. Hold on, Agent Lang. Allow me to fight him my way, with evidence. I was just joking. I'm not so easily ruffled by the likes of him. Too bad. Though I'm no longer an ambassador, it still could have been an international incident. If you'll have the will to threaten us with that mouth of yours, then perhaps you can use it to return the testimony. Very well. But to be fair, you should watch what you say as well. There is no way for me to have transported his body from the theatre to Babal. Bullshit! There's actually a very easy way you could have. I'll do it this way. There we go, with a pushcart. Still Samurai pushed this to Alabas from the dressing room. The bulge is unnatural. Oh, I've heard that before. Alright. So there you go. The bulge is so large because of the bloody body. Actually, I do believe there was a way to transport the body out of the theatre. Perhaps you should give this a look. What is that supposed to be? Security footage? It's footage from a security camera that captured the state of the immigration area. Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on it? Just letting you know that we're not the only ones watching your every move. Thank you for the warning. Now, if you could take a good look at this section here. Just one peer inside the pushcart. Do you know what's causing it? Should I? Because I don't. In that case, allow me to enlighten you. This is the cause of the unnatural lump under the cloth in the pushcart. Yeah, that. I'm surprised that the key wasn't taken from his person, though.
Take that!
What is the meaning of showing me that? It's to say that the unnatural bulge in the pushcart is Mr. Kochin's body. You had the Steel Samurai wheel his body away from the real crime scene. What a guess! But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it. I admit that for now it is but a hypothesis, however... If you can't prove it, then I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people. Gumshoe! Oh my god, he found it! He found the cart! What a badass! Sorry it took so long, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Gummy? Detective Gumshoe, is that the Steel Samurai's pushcart? Yes, sir. I found it in the open-air stage area. So that's where you went. The detective spirit that Pops left me with. I thought I'd follow my gut and go with it, sir. So, Mr. Edgeworth, is this worth anything to the case? Yes. It just might play a major role in solving this case, detective. Our Gumshoe's such a good detective. He always comes through at the right moment. But something isn't right. I thought that the entire samurai family was in Alabast. Where exactly in the open-air stage area did you find this pushcart? I found it just lying there at the edge of the stage, sir. Oh! Well, let's leave that for now and examine the inside, detective. Yes, sir. Alright, I'm actually examining it. This is a bit... What the hell, that's bright. Jesus. Woo! It's... blood. This must be Mr. Kochin's blood. Which only goes to prove that Mr. Kochin's body was indeed transported by this pushcart. Uh-oh. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Kochin at this theatre, then placed his body inside this pushcart. And then... you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. I forced him to move the body into Alabast? What nonsense. Why would I bother to do such a thing? Objection! You were scheduled to make a speech in Alabast, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babal. However, what if you moved the body to Alabast? Because it was your embassy, you could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence. And then you smuggled it out of Alabast. No! Goddamn. If I can show you how you move the body from Alabast to Babal, then I win. But you can't. The security between the two countries is incredibly tight. I'll be the one to judge whether I can or cannot prove it. So I ask you to provide us with testimony regarding your movements after your return to Alabast. Oh ho ho! We're getting there. Miles Edgeworth, have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved? To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis at this time. However, I don't believe I've made a mistake in my logic up to this point. Which means... there is no question that can't be answered, right? The Primduck statue was smuggled successfully through a brief flight through the air. So why shouldn't there be an answer as to how the body was moved? Which means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can exploit. Alrighty. Time for another... testimony. Movements in Alabast. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai, shaking hands. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasures, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all. It looks like you left out a few things. Such as the murder of Damask II. Furthermore, you left out the part about meeting with me in your office. Ah, those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. I do so hate to waste time. What? Is not every life precious? Do you really need me to answer that for you? People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. Then you'd better try hard, because I doubt you'll find a single contradiction. He's really full of himself, isn't he? Yes, he is. How can he be so confident at a time like this? Come, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. Movements in Alabast. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai. So why was it only with the Steel Samurai? I thought the Pink Princess was also around. The Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip at the time, and the doctors recommended that she rest. Wow, so you do have a soft side after all. The pain of a bad hip. I suppose none of you can really understand how it feels. Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh? But isn't that just because you're normally all hunched over? You did need to keep up the act no matter what, I suppose. The point of this is not to discuss my back problems. For about 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in my office preparing for the speech. That Yatagarasu trick was just a trick that you had set up. A most amusing joke, and how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain it in detail for you. You arranged the spotlights in the rose garden so that when you were to take the stage, the audience would see the Yatagarasu's shadow. Oh, that is an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. You! What's it going to take for you to fess up to anything? Very well then, let's move on to a different question. After the Yatagarasu appeared, what was the state of the rose garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. And then once everyone was inside, well... I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office. And what happened after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this. However, upon my return, I had that stroke of bad luck and bumped into Masked Man. And I don't want to keep on repeating this either. But his name was Damask II. Who cares what he was called? By the time he got to the Prima Duck statue that he was supposed to steal, he had already been swapped with the fake, or for the fake. Talk about an unlucky man. Being bludgeoned to death with a fake statue. What the hell? This one camera is really letting her whip fly now. I think the scary part is her silence whilst doing it. She must be at the limit of her patience as well. But physical attacks are meaningless here. Only evidence will suffice. Uh-oh. I can't find a single flaw in his argument. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he is actually guilty of anything. Are we finished here? Miles Edgeworth, can you not come up with how the body was moved to Babal? Sir. Mr. Edgeworth. Even after proving so much, is he going to get away with it? Is this the end? Again? Man, this has happened like 3 times. Oh, somebody else. Is this Larry? It appears that we arrived just in time. Would be a great honour if you would allow us to be allies in battle. Evil Magistrate, it is time for you to pair. Oh my god. What a timely appearance. It's the Steel Samurai? No, you're mistaken, for I am the Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of Near World Tokyo. And this is Pink Princess Mommy. Oh god, it's all bag. Ugh. Edgy Poo! The 2 people that I wanted to see the least. Larry! What are you 2 doing here? Good to show your gratitude, Edgy. We just wanted to help, yeesh. I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust of my samurai spear. Go away. How can you be so mean to us, Edgy Poo? All 3 of us came to lend a hand, and this is how you treat us? Well, isn't this grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant. Does that really matter right now? Hey. Is it just me, or is the Iron Infant completely soaked? Oh yeah. I found him in Babal, but he was in the middle of the pool. That's how it was moved. The pool. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Huh? Oh, it appears that we made it. Not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant in Babal. And he found it in a pool? I don't recall there being one in Babal. Oh, that. Well, I was in Alabast the whole time. So I have no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Babal. I thought I had lost him in the Rose Garden. But I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden. Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure. But I found him in... That's enough, Larry. Oh! The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of it. It's what I've been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the countries. The key to the route the Iron Infant took to travel from Alabast is... bilateral symmetry. Oh, that's right. This embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir? There's a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. It is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Cochin's body lies. Does something like that really exist, sir? An embassy built on bilateral symmetry. Meaning, this is where we need to examine. I don't know if it really like, here? That should be fine, I hope. Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it. It's too late. It doesn't matter now what you do. It's all a waste of time. Oh, I ain't gonna stop you all the time. You will stay here with us and wait. This is Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, it's here, sir. Hmm? There's a reservoir here, just like in the Rose Garden. Well, what do you know? Just as I suspected. What is it? The two sides of this embassy are mirror images of each other. Which means that there is also a pool at the corresponding location on the Babalese side. Mr. Cochin's body was moved into Babal through the pool in Alabast. Oh damn. Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more physical proof, if you have any. In due time. The Iron Infant is positively soaked in water. Why do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of a pool, and not just any pool, it was the Babalese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what must be true. Aha! The water reservoirs in the two courtyards are connected. And where is your proof that the two sides are connected? The proof is right there before your eyes. The half-drowned Iron Infant. What? This blasted doll! Also, if you really want to see me play Monster Hunter World, watch my streams of it. There's like 30 of them. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Hey. Don't tell me. You guys figured everything out without me. We did, thanks to this hero of justice's son. Even if he is just a doll, he managed to help foil the villain. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Look, I don't want to say this, but... it's kind of unlikely that the body just happened to have passed on through to Babal. This guy's a doll, and he's small, so I can believe it made it, but... he has a point. Yes, that's right. I'm glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe? You see, Mr. Prosecutor? Our chase after this man is far from over. Agent Lang. Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now? He's not. He realised a flaw in my argument and is helping to move the logic along. In which case, I should return the favour and find an answer. And another thing. Mr. Cochin's body was found in his office in Babal. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open-air stage? Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babal, remember? You mean... Sheena? Yeah. With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office. You seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body? The stories are separate, but there's not really an overarching story. Each game has its own self-contained story. Essentially all you get if you play through the games in order is callbacks to certain cases and references to certain characters. And also references to certain cases. But they are all related technically. But the story is contained within each game. So it's not like there's a massive story that goes over all the games. Although technically the Ace Attorney investigations are slightly different than the Ace Attorney games. Because it's a spin-off and you play as a prosecutor as opposed to a defense attorney. And they play out entirely differently. He's right, Miss Sheena would drown if she did that. It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. Looks like your hypothesis about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body. What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in Babal? If only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. Oh, the fires! Get rid of the water? That's it. No, I believe this time we really are done, right? Oh, I object. And I object hard. Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you've thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move the body through the water? That's completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me? The reason I say that is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean there wasn't any water? Just what it sounds like. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. Do I have evidence of fires? Oh, there we go. Fires in Babal. Tonight, the Atagarasu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border. So what? The water level went down? The reservoirs were connected? Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a critical game-changing moment. A moment in which you hit a wall that must be overcome, or that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route you used to smuggle the body, and that route will lead to your defeat. Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. I know that. I should have figured that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway? I'll have you know those pools are extremely deep. And there are no ladders or footholds along the way either. It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb out of the pool. Ladders or footholds along the walls? There was no need for such things. What do you mean? If one were to use a certain something, they could go up or down in the pool at will. Oh, it looks like you've got an answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already. The way in which Miss Sheena and the body were able to rise up to the ground level. If there was a way to control the water level, that could be the way the body was moved. This was used so that the body and Miss Sheena could move up and down in the pool. Ah. The fountain spouts. Auto refills when the water level is too low. Mr. Alba used the fountain spouts, in a manner of speaking. He used the fountain spouts? How so? The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Sheena and the body were lifted upward by their buoyancy in water. The fire on the Babalese side and the firefighting effort. These were set in motion, all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Cochin's body. Oh, damn. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spouts in advance in preparation of things to come. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the Rose Garden and pushed it along with the Iron Infant and Mr. Cochin's body into the pool. At this time, Machina was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babal. She then made for the open air stage's pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. When the firefighters used the water in that pool, the water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the two pools was exposed. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabast into Babal. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. And the water level rose up to its original level along with Machina and the body. After that, Machina used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There is an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see, even with her small frame she could have easily transported Mr. Cochin's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation on how the body was moved. Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I know you can do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back. You accuse me of moving the body across the country lines. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does the old man want now? Proof. I believe is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of what you said really happened? He wants proof? What are we gonna do, Mr. Edgeworth? There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we needed all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipe tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open-air stage area, so too did I find one other item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. This was another thing that was smuggled over to Babal's open-air stage area. I think... yeah, this hasn't been used. Found at the open-air stage. Looks like a guitar pick. It was also wet for some reason.
Take that!
Boom. What exactly is this? You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the Babalese side will be your undoing. Fucking hell. A guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were? Much to your chagrin. Chagrin? Perhaps, but that is... oh, this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognise it, since you took a photo with it after all. But since you don't, allow me to fill you in on what I found at the stage actually belongs to. So... wait. It's not that, is it? Co-motive petals are separate. Oh, that's what it is! Yeah, I've just realised. It's a petal from this. I didn't realise they came off. I mean, I can't really see them. But yeah, it's a petal. Oh. Hahaha. There we go. Let's take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Cochin. Right. I only picked the pick because I've not used it on anything else. Hey, Poker Naventa. Thanks for the follow. And the ice cream. I appreciate it. It said on the handle there's a beautifully blooming flower. I don't know if I read it. However, it would appear that it is missing a single petal. Oh, Alba. Now let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick into that open slot. It's a perfect fit! I assume that the petal must have fallen off the flower during Mr. Cochin's murder. and then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart along with Mr. Cochin's body. God, he's still objecting. That's an interesting story, nothing more. Really? Oh, I assure you it's more than just a story. But for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet, you say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open-air stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theatre wind up in the open-air stage area on the Babalese side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as this petal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool on through to Babal. Impossible! Oh yeah. The people of Zengfar have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy. Why? Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning. When you took your first life. No matter how you may plot, or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you. Ah, the music was just getting good. You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. You know, I don't think this guy is going to ever admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth, because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with are people who can't refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist because everyone breaks eventually. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. Fucking hell, end of chapter! Right, well, we're actually at the end now, so there is that. My goodness. I didn't actually expect that to be an hour long. Not really. Crazy. Alrighty. So now it's actually the end. Theatrum Neutralis. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. As if there is anything else for me to testify about. I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. Wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Very well. Suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show. Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. Whew. So the Steel Samurai stage show. Oh man, the music. This is the tune that plays when you're near the end, essentially. Not the end of the game, near the end of the, like, testimonies and rebuttals and everything. So I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. Okay, this guy has feelings, apparently. So, you were in the theatre proper, watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you? Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? Oh my god. You're not the one who was cool, it's the Steel Samurai who was cool. Yeah, the Steel Samurai special finishing move today was really something, huh? Hey, Edgy. Who is she? Oh. Who is this super cute girl? She's been standing here this whole time, and only now he notices her. Her name is Kay Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, so, Kay, I'm Larry Barnes. Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle. You got that? I know. This is the end. For that man there. Now that's the kind of thing I like to hear. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. Wow. I'll leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Have no fear, I will finish the job. Oh, this is one hell of a build-up. This really is the end game. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lies. Oh boy. Right, so now we have to rebut. And it's time to press everything. The last row? I should think that an ambassador would have had a special seating reserved. I wanted my staff to enjoy the Steel Samurai show as well, so I gave up all of the good seats for them. It was enough for me to simply see him. What the fuck? Hey, the Steel Samurai wasn't the only hero. Let's not forget about the Pink Princess here. My dear madam, if you continue to thrust about like that, your hip may begin to hurt again. Oh my, well, aren't you the considerate person when you want to be? But this young butterfly is on the side of Edgypoo, so you can spare me the flirtatious commands. Wow, he's completely frozen. In frustration, perhaps, I dare say she can be one rather trying opponent. In any case, Mr. Alba, can you actually prove to us that you were watching the show? I mean, he actually just say that he can't prove it. Are you admitting then that you have no way of proving to us that you were watching? Quiet! You're buzzing my ear like a pesky little fly. If you don't wish to listen quietly until the end of what I have to say, then perhaps you should pack up and get out of my way. Jesus. Okay, sheesh. You say that you're willing to be a bit more receptive now. While it's true that it may be difficult to prove that I was out in the audience... Yeah, now he says, I do remember. The contents of the show. Well, I remember the contents of the show as well myself. That's nice. That's nice. Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. I wasn't planning to let him. Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And didn't you think the climactic scene of today's show was just totally awesome? Yes, I remember that as well. And that spectacular special move. The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate, early summer rain jab. Well, that scene will live on in my heart forever. Is that how it went? I totally forgot about that. How can you forget your own special moves? That's a special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear. Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer your question? Or how could I answer you with the name of the move? Suppose you are correct, but if you could please elaborate on this point for me. I'm certain he couldn't use that, could he? Because he bent the bloody spear. Because Larry's an idiot. There it is. Because he bent it, Larry couldn't do the early summer rain jab attack. Special attack. Well. Well. The special move today was the early summer rain jab? Is that your final answer? Oh, it's a quiz show. You little irritating gnat. Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over? That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this. The Samurai Spear, what about it? This spear actually never made it on stage today. Excuse me? Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special move was tonight? It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Well, correct, because he couldn't use the spear. A last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known the move that was used. Well, Quercus Alba, you didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you? He was too busy murdering, I guess. So if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibility that he was busy killing Mr. Cochin instead. So, where were you during the show? I demand an answer, now. Lots of dots. Heh. I love giving him goofy laughs. Just what is so funny? You're so sloppy. And so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watched the show, or most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? Ah, you see, during the show I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when that dramatic scene was played out on stage. That is the lousiest, lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal. Just because he got the name of the move wrong. We can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all. Great. As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I had wanted to watch the entire show. Honest. As a Steel Samurai fan, for someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan, ever. Haha, really, we're getting triggered, because he says he's a fan. Edgeworth's a bigger fan. Who the hell said that? Who was that just now? Oh. It would be I, young lady. Oh my god. Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that? Edgy, just hold on for a second, I beg. You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Samaniac. What exactly is a Steel Samaniac, pal? I believe he meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac. Yeah, and trust me, I know a real fan when I see one because I'm the Steel Samurai. I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai. What are you getting so worked up over, Mr. Edgeworth? It appears that the real Steel Samurai recognises me as a fan. As well he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart. The sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Oh, the music stopped. Getting the name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch that last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Mr. Manny Kojin. You know what, Gramps? You're really something else. I'm honoured to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai, but what is it for? I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. That move is a bit of a secret that only a portion of the staff know about. Wait, it was a secret? Larry, wait, what did you just say? Huh? Did I say something stupid again? Did you say that the early summer rain jab was actually a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. I thought it said movie. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer rain jab. That's kinda how we decided the name of the move. But by that time I'd already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kinda pointless. All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kinda pretended that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret. So basically, a gag order was issued for publicity's sake. So it almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move. Hold those lips of yours still. What the heck, old man? I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's also very tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time, much like a kids' show. Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. How dare you? I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony. So now you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to be read into a behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show. Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, Quercus Alba. You were the one who said it yourself, that the name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start. So, just what are you driving at? That the name of the move you've told us was never used in the show or said aloud. Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move? Because I can only think of one way you could have known. Quercus Alba, this is the only way you could have known the name of the special move. You thought it up. No, you saw it. You saw it on the board. You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. So you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means that Mr. Alba was in the waiting room at some point, right? But what's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means. There is another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So we can't afford to let this slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Cochin's murder. I'll go back. It's the pushcart. The pushcart was right in front of the whiteboard. The pushcart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. Right in front of the whiteboard. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on the stage in the dressing room. And it was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then right after the show ended, it went into the Alabast along with the Steel Samurai. I thought it said Alabastian Embassy. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the cart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. So basically the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. Oh ho ho ho! Oh, but wait. What if, and this is just a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room? What do you mean, Kay? I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going into the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb. But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body with the pushcart. Correct. And it is because of the setup of the theatre's dressing room that it would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Cochin. Quercus Alba, during the show you went down to the dressing room. And I want to know why. Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it. I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest. Of course he'd object. Not so fast. What is it now? Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself? Explain? What is there to explain? I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard. You punk! Still trying to get out of this. Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do to stop him? I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything. I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps... Agent Lang, I believe an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible that we may find new evidence there. Yeah, if Mr. Edgeworth pokes around in there, I'm sure he'll find some new facts, pal. And if we use Little Thief, we may even learn something from a recreation. We don't need to do any of that. What? Wolfie, how could you? I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men really are something else. And they found nothing? There's only one thing I can say to you, sis, and it's that they found nothing. That's it. I guess you're right. If they had found something, they would have reported it to us. They couldn't find anything because there was nothing there to find. And if there is no info to feed into Little Thief, then I can't do much to help either. Is this the end? The murder took place in the theatre, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. and the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. Is there no other course of action left to us? It would appear that your hand of cards has turned out to be a bust. Now, if you'll excuse me. Because of you people, I missed my flight. Now I must make haste to arrange for a new one. Now who said this? Who is it this time? Oldbeck. Hold it right there, you whippersnappers. Wait, what? First Larry, and now you? What is with that scary mobster-like scowl on your face, Edgy Poo? Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance. I've been meaning to say this, but all of you keep talking about things I don't get at all. You're all leaving this lady in the sad, depressing, lonely dust I'm about to cry in. Why did you have to speak up right at this instant? But you know what, Edgy Poo? Cheer up! Because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing. The most wonderful thing? From you? It's so super special that I couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know? My special present of love to my sweet Edgy Poo, are you ready? Is this. Is that a samurai dog? It's a box of those samurai dogs, right? Yes, oh Edgy Poo. Here, go on and eat one and you'll feel as right as rain. I love just the dots. Are we through here? Why did everyone get so quiet all of a sudden? Edgy Poo, tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you. I'm not one to hand out snacks willy-nilly, you know? No, sir. The thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good if I fed you. Oh, I can't read the rest because she's talking too quick. I like how her mouth actually speeds up. Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her? There is no power on earth that can enforce that woman into silence. Oh dear. But I'm so sick and tired of it all. All you people do is look down on me. Even this box of samurai dogs played me for a fool. Had a special design on it, or on its fan like the Japanese flag, so I thought it was special. But when I ate one, it tasted just like all the rest. Oh, it made me so mad. Wait, a special box with a Hinamaru-like fan on it. I've never heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before. However, there it is. The red rising sun on this fan is filled in. Is it possible? Could it be? After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the dressing room floor. However, there is no such thing as a rising sun dog. Oh right, we're getting logic. Taken from the dressing room, the fan's rising sun is filled in for some reason. Is that a speck of blood? This contradiction of facts between something that does not exist and yet does. The rays from this rising sun may be just what we needed to point us in the right direction. A present? The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. Had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them. Or move them all. Samurai dogs, boxes of samurai dogs were sitting in the pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at the theatre and then placed his body inside the pushcart. They were on the floor because he moved them out of the cart to put the body into the cart. The killer placed Cochin's body into the pushcart in the dressing room. And then, you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. It's time to piece the final pieces of this logic puzzle together. No matter how fragile or small the connections may be. Once we found them all, the way to the truth will be revealed. Logic mode! Samurai dog's body in the pushcart. Right, samurai dog's body in the pushcart. The killer used the pushcart to transport the body, which means that they had to remove the samurai dogs from within first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled up on the dressing room floor were most likely taken out of the pushcart by the killer. Oh crap, I didn't read it. Whoops. Back to logic? Okay, I can read it now. Samurai dogs were removed. Dogs were put on the dressing room floor by the killer to make room for the body. Ah. Alright. We're getting there. That which should not exist. This box of samurai dogs with a Hinamaru on it. If this red rising sun was filled in when the killer was busy removing dogs from the pushcart, then it's proof that the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it to be. Wendy Oldbag. Thank you. I thank you. What you have given to me is truly something very special. Edgy Foo. Mr. Edgeworth, are you sure you're feeling okay, sir? Mr. Alba, as I suspected, you killed Mr. Cochin in the dressing room. How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate is with some definitive evidence. That arrogance. That self-confidence. You believe that you've erased every piece of evidence that could incriminate you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good. You're bluffing. Oh-ho! Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sounds like you finally found them. You finally found the fangs. We need to go after this guy's jugular. So tell us, what about that box of samurai dogs is going to put the old man away? The trace evidence that will bring him down? Why, it's here, of course. This box of samurai dogs with the rising sun fan on it. This should never have existed. So I want you all to take a good look at this red spot. It's a single drop of blood. Huh? What? Blood, you'd say? Agent Lang, I'd like this blood analysed post-haste. How many times have I said post-haste? I've got to admit, I'm a bit surprised. I can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey you, get this down to the lab, pronto. So now we just wait. But why was there blood on that box to begin with? If we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said that you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcart, correct? Oh yeah. You have a great memory, Edgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, you know what I mean? So to make sure everyone could see him, I had to pile some stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the cart. If what Larry says is true, then what were the boxes doing on the floor? Ah, I see, the killer took them out in order to place the body into the pushcart. Exactly. And that is when I believe, the victim's blood found its way onto that box. But when my men investigated that room, not a single box of samurai dogs was in there. Because embassy staff members had already confiscated them. Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of murder. It's a good thing that Miss Oldbag managed to steal that one box before they got to them, huh? Looks like Miss Oldbag also managed to put this great thief to shame. What a scandalous way of putting that. I didn't steal, I received it from myself. Quercus Alba. I'd say this was one very fatal oversight on your part. Sorry to rain on your little love fest, however... bloody phlegm. How can he be so self-confident in a no-win situation for him like this? Even if that blood turns out to belong to Mr. Cochin, then what? So Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not ready to call it quits yet. The sole piece of evidence that was left at the scene of the crime. That alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room. And? You say that like it means something. Huh? Excuse me, sirs. Oh, it's Paleno. I couldn't remember his name. Oh no, Paleno was always stood there, I think. Report, what were the results of the analysis? So the analysis came back and confirmed that the red substance is blood. I knew it. With this, Quercus Alba... Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might humour my question. Your question? The one from before, or have you forgotten? Even if that is Mr. Cochin's blood, what difference would it make? Like we already told you, it proves that the crime scene was that dressing room. But it doesn't prove that I am your killer, does it? That's... He has a very good point. The blood on that box doesn't prove that Mr. Alba is the killer. Then, this evidence... it's meaningless. That can't be. We were so close, sir. I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's got to be something we can do. We finally found a solid piece of evidence. There must be something I can expose with it. I have an idea. I can't think of a single thing. No, there was something we were shown in the last session, and I'm curious if that's going to be what it is. I think he said no, if you'll excuse me. Who said that? Who was that? It's too late. I won't allow anyone to stop me now. It wasn't me, pal. It wasn't me this time either. It wasn't me either. It was me! Who the hell is this? Why did you... Oh, forensics! Because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir. There's more? What? Hurry up and spit it out. Yes, sir. That blood I mentioned. It's not of the same blood as the victim's blood. Oh, same blood type as the victim's blood. Huh? No. Huh. So it's not... Manny's. What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his, then who the hell's is it? I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim, sir. What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's what anymore. Neither do I. My, what an amusing turn of events. That blood drop proved something to be true, alright. Namely, my words. Which one of your words would that be? The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless? That blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Need I remind you that the blood got onto that box long before it entered my embassy? What sort of nonsense? Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder. So you would like to believe. But what if someone preparing the samurai dogs had a small nosebleed? What then? I guess that's possible. Damn it, have we been wasting our time on a red herring? The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough. Quercus Alba, you bastard! Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again. I've wasted enough time here with you. And you have your answers. Now let me through. Alba, it doesn't matter where you run off to, you'll never escape me. Someday I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see. And all of Interpol will be behind me, working to see that see to it that that day comes. Do you know what your words sound like to me? They sound like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt. Oof. Aroo! Oh man, is this really the extent of all that we can do? How many times have we reached this? It's like, oh my god, is this really the end? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case? Or is there another possibility? Someone else other than the victim? Just when I thought I had him backed into a corner, it is I who has been backed into one. In a situation like this, what would that man do? What would Phoenix Wright do? What would he, who can turn any desperate situation around, do? Turn it around. That's it! I must turn my way of thinking around. God, it's just like the think outside the box from Phoenix Wright. It's not whose blood is this. It's whose blood could get onto the box like this. And if I think about it that way, if the blood got onto the box when the body was being placed into the pushcart, then the owner of the blood must have been in the dressing room at the same time. There's only one person that could be. Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because of you kids that I was removed from centre stage. And will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom like what the raven feels as it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me, not now or ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me. Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. What do you mean? Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful. Pitiful? How so? Quercus alba. Your wings were clipped long ago. And for someone who is trying to fly away on them without noticing that fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe you. Huh, mere words. What do you mean by his wings are clipped, Mr. Edgeworth? Just what you think it means, Kay. We had already caught him in our trap a while back. With an incredibly powerful, definitive piece of evidence. Hey, the Mr. Prosecutor, care to speak in English? What are you talking about? What piece of evidence? The piece I speak of is, of course, this drop of blood. But we know that it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant to the case at all. Miss Von Karma, I believe that is exactly why it's very important to the case. And the part that is the most important, is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. How's he caught on? You're looking a little pale. Good. Then I believe you are already aware of what I mean. Then you know who the blood belongs to. Of course I do. This piece of evidence is the irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. Blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to this person. The blood of the rising sun on this box belongs to you, Quercus alba. What? Why is his blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim. The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Cochin's body was being loaded into the pushcart. At that time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer. So that's what you mean. If the blood doesn't belong to the victim, then there is only one other person it could belong to. Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion. But Mr. Cochin was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba not have been the one who was bleeding? What if during the murder Mr. Cochin had fought back? You mean, if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Cochin managed to wound Mr. Alba? Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves that he was bleeding then. What is the piece of evidence that shows that Mr. Alba was probably bleeding at the time? His wound, perhaps? Claims it's proof he was stabbed by Damask II. So it's justified defense. Oh man, the music, it's picking up again. Mr. Alba, you bear on your body a great wound. That was from when Damask II attacked me with a pair of scissors. Yeah, and that happened way after he was in the dressing room. Yeah, but is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it, so I can't just accept that as fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba? And see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors? You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility. You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You've managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as the smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal. I am the master of my fear. However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing. You believe I've overlooked something? You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Cochin. And that it was caused here in one of the theatre's dressing rooms, right? Yes, that's correct. I'd like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound. One that could only have come from a blade. I've just realised what Mr. Cochin had on him. I wonder where you will propose that such a weapon came from. Ah, this theatre was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into this area with a weapon of any sort. Oh no, it isn't. Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring in the Alabastian knife in a bouquet, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort. Ah, but as long as you can't prove what that other way is, all your talk about Mr. Cochin stabbing me is pure nonsense. So if that other way does exist, you'd better hurry and tell me now. Oh, gladly. Oh, with pleasure. Wait, what? Oh man, comes full circle. This piece of evidence shows us how Mr. Cochin brought a weapon into this theatre.
Take that!
Among law enforcement, this piece is known as the Yatagarasu's key. That key. That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago. And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife, meaning that under the guise of a key, it could have been easily brought into the theatre. You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back into Mr. Cochin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside the safe, there was a document about Cadopian paper, signed by Mr. Cochin. In order to make it look like Mr. Cochin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife's blade with your wound, Mr. Quercus Alba? Or is he finally gonna give up? Is it time? Will he give in? Break down, break down, break down, have a breakdown, please. And that is what some may call the coup de grace. Impossible. You can't take me down. Swine, all of you. Especially Manny Cochin. This is all because of that man's betrayal. He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador. Which is why he deserved to die while bearing the guilt for all of my crimes for me. That's why I sent out the Yatagarasu's card, and how this incident was born. Manny was supposed to be the smuggling ring's leader, smuggling king is nearly what I said, who was killed by the Yatagarasu. But I had yet another reason, yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close. And I would have gotten away with it too, if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Meddling prosecutors. Yeah, we did it! I think that's actually the end of the game. There's probably a lot of stuff to go through still, like the epilogue and all the other dialogue. Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask. This country's, or Alabast's, which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. Breakdown. Edgeworth! Damn. Oh my god. Is he gonna wither away like a tree? Ooh, oh god. That's really creepy. Jesus Christ. Oh man. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Whew, this is it. The big day. It's Mr. Alba's trial today. And next week he's scheduled to stand trial in his own country of Alabast. Francisco is heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving a full course of whiplashes at it. Having to face Miss Von Karma in court right after facing you, sir. Ugh, I don't even want to think what that would be like. I caught a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted into the courthouse. And boy, he looked about as glum as I do the day before I get my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking. That flight attendant, and even Mr. Portsman, were all Mr. Alba's secret agents. Correct, that smuggling ring was the common thread between all of the incidents. Cammy Meal was to provide support during smuggling ops, using her job as an attendant, and Mr. Portsman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favour. Ugh. I fly airlines, and even the prosecutor's office. No one was safe from the smuggling ring, has there? I suspect there are even more members of this ring spread throughout the world. Yeah, it sounds like such a big op, that I can't even begin to imagine what it's like. What is it, Detective? Ah, nothing. It's just, well, come to think of it. Mr. Ernest Amano's trial is also scheduled for later today, sir. I'm aware of that. Mr. Amano has been working with the smuggling ring for now for over 10 years. 10 years. 7 years. I really just can't talk. He used the Amano Group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end, as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. I owe Mr. Amano a debt of gratitude, but he must pay his debt to society. Well, with the arrests of both Mr. Alba and Mr. Amano, I guess that about wraps up the KG8 incident as well, huh? I suppose so. The real killer in the KG8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Kochin. And 7 years ago, the killer in the second KG8 incident was Mac Rell. Those two facts are the unshakable truth. However, it seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and other truths from us. And I will expose it all at the trials today. You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir? CCU indeed, man. Perhaps now, these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the way, I received some gifts from Ambassador Paleno. Shrimp, crab, beef. I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you. What? Seriously, sir? Wait, actually I don't think I want them anymore. The way you're holding them. Don't tell me they're just coupons, sir. Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became Cadopia again, its economy has changed. Really? It seems that Ambassador Paleno has reaped a few benefits of his own from it. He has been announced as the official ambassador of the newly reunified Cadopia. Ah, but what a pity. Even though every item he sent is a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant, Kay. Wait, that's not what I said, so Mr. Edgeworth, please let me have them, sir. That was Kay, wasn't it? But you come to think of it, where is Kay? How come she's still not here? She's right behind him. Hey, you gotta be more alert than that. Not Edgeworth. Gumshoe and his, like, scared animation's the best. Can't believe you didn't notice I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit. I totally didn't notice you. Or realise that that voice was you. How dense can you be, Gumshoe? Langzy says ferocious love blooms with each new spring. Agent Lang, a pleasant surprise to see you here. It's been a long time since I set foot in a courthouse, but I wasn't going to miss. Watching the guy who screwed up my country finally get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I want to see you in action in court. Is that so, Agent Lang? We flushed out all of the counterfeit bills, so Zhengfa is finally at peace again. And it's all thanks to you, so I just want to say thanks. Wow, I never thought I'd see the day old Wolfie says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth. I should be the one thanking you, Agent Lang. If you hadn't negated Mr. Alba's extraterritorial rights, I would not have been able to bring him to trial. I believe the victory belongs to the both of us, in this case. A shared victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong. I'll still never forgive you prosecutors. And I have zero interest in that truth thing you talk about in court. I've always done things my own way, and that's not about to change. You got that? I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job. Yeah. And if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. But as for me, I'm going to get that person no matter what. Heh, alright. It's about time for the trial to start, and we'll see you later. I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. I'm looking forward to this. I prepared a whole ton of ticker tape for today's victory, sir. I'll help throw some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins. Hope you've got enough, because I'm going to go call my men up as well. A modest amount of ticker tape goes a long way. Oh my god. The scene shifts to the courtroom, and the final act of this long tale begins. The legend of the great thief Yatagarasu. It's the story of those who chose to dedicate their life to the pursuit of the truth. That's scrolled way too quick. Prosecutors are those who seek a guilty verdict of the defendants they meet, and to that end... Yeah, I can't fucking read this. Creed was forced on me since I was very young. However, I no longer think that is all that prosecutors are, and that is because of that one man. I mean, it's Phoenix Wright that caused him to become a different prosecutor. Even though I've only been away from the courtroom for a short time, I feel as though it's been a lifetime since I set foot in one, and today, more than any other day, I feel the fight within me rising. Oh, is that how it ends? Credits? Hey! Oh, that's cool. Oh man, love it. This game was fantastic. It's really cool because it was completely different than the Ace Attorney games. I'm really in Mr. Edgeworth's debt for the other day. Thanks to him, I'm still free to serve in the friendly blue skies. Oh, so about my suitcases. I've been selling them on the internet and they've become a real sensation. Thanks to the praise the art world has lavished on my work as being truly postmodern. The airline has chosen me to design their new line of I-Fly jumbo jets. Just think, someday you'll be able to take a ride in my pink-walled, yellow-seated jet. Ew. I keep forgetting that the credits of these games are the best, because they actually have interactions with characters, and they actually provide some useful things. Oh, is it going to be him? He's going to give us some more dialogue? Edgeworth? Ah, that rudeness of a rude man. Because of him my time and money is wasted. But more importantly, I received a fantastic something, the Primrock statue of the Principality of Cadopia. It weighs a bit light in my hands, but the Ambassador Pelena was most generous. He gave him the fake one. Ah, brilliant. Love it. Oh, is this going to be Franziska? We finally caught Agent Hicks's killer, and I was able to witness Mr. Alba's teary eyes. It feels good to finally bring everything to a close. I received another offer from Interpol to work another case in cooperation with them. However, the Cadopian courts await. Cadopia's air is supposed to be very fresh, so my whip should feel new vigour there. Should find new vigour there. How many more characters are going to be to go through? Bad? Cece? Of course Kay, how could I forget her? Oh, unless it's going to be Meekins. No, it's Meekins. This little patrolman has been fired as of today, sir. I thought it was safe since we found the gun I had dropped. But I hadn't noticed that I dropped my police badge too. I guess what really broke the camel's back was that I couldn't find my badge. My little life has suddenly tripped into a dark black hole, sir. I think I'll go to the courthouse and file a complaint with Ruffles Man. Is that Gumshoe? Is that what he calls Gumshoe? Ruffles Man. Sounds like a really crappy superhero. I'm trying to think how many more characters there'll be. Emma Skye? Or is it Lana? No, it's Emma. Lana's her sister. I was actually hoping to talk with Mr. Edgeworth a bit more than I did. I've got to get going and return to Europe. I've still got a long way to go, and a lot of stuff to study there. Next time I help Mr. Edgeworth on a case, I'm going to do it as a real forensic scientist. I'm sure he's going to need all the help I can give him, scientifically. Man. Yeah, I really like this. It was fun. No, it is fun. I'm just trying to think how long it'll be. I'm not entirely sure. Because the kidnapping was staged, I was let off easy. I won't be going outside anytime soon, but that's really okay. The only prison I'm forever trapped in is the cage of love. The guard down at the detention centre. Well, when he's on guard duty, he has such a cold look in his eyes. Just like that prosecutor. Badump. Stop it, Lauren. When will you ever learn to stop being a prisoner of love? Oh my god, she falls for everybody. She fell pretty hard for Edgeworth, though. As did, that flight assistant. I can't remember her name, though. Gumshoe! Or is it going to be the judge? Oh, it is! It appears that there are... Oh, it appears there are all sorts of drama that takes place outside the courtroom. Since we judges are here day in and day out, I've only heard a few rumours, but... apparently, Mr. Edgeworth teamed up with a thief and became a detective. Maybe I should team up with a bailiff and try to become a lawyer or something. Oh my. How many more characters have I got to go through? It'd be 78. No, it'd be 85 parts. Which I think is shorter than both the first game and Trials and Tribulations, but longer than Justice for All. Do-do-do. Phew, I barely escaped death yet again. Yeah, but boy were we lucky to have Mr. Edgeworth help us out, huh? Yeah, but because I lost the key, I got fired from my security guard job. She really does not have good luck. Don't let it get you down, Maggie. You've still got me. You're right, sir. I won't be sad. I'm gonna pick myself up and get through this. Wonder what my next job should be. Ooh, this is actually kind of fun. Those sparkly eyes. Man. Doo-doo-doo. So what character's gonna be next? Heleno! Why not come to Cadopia for your summer vacation? We have coupons aplenty. Right now our embassy is proud to present our Let's Investigate a Murder show. Although recreating that particular case has created a few small fires of its own. Then we had a few problems with the fire marshals. But the next event will be great. It will be an attraction entitled Capture the Yatagarasu. Of course, I hope to enlist Kate's help in creating our latest attraction. Very nice. I don't even know how many more they're gonna be. The only other things I can think of is Detective Bad, Lang, and maybe CC. Oh, of course, Larry, how could I forget him? I can't believe that Mindy ditched me and went to Japan. But it's okay, because that's how I met Miharu. I plan to go to Paris soon and start a business. We're going to sell Blue Ocean dogs. They'll sell like hotcakes. Hotcake hot dogs for sure. A blue hot dog and a blue bun. I guarantee it'll turn your tongue and your face blue. I know I'm not really the type to work a lot, or all really, but... Oh, so I noticed that I really haven't seen the guy in the blue suit at all recently. Wonder what's up. Well, the next time we meet I'm gonna make him eat one of my dogs. I mean, I like that there was a cameo of Phoenix, Maya, and Pearl on Case 3, I think, when we was in Gatewaterland. You could see them on the rowboat. That was very nice. Wait, so who's this gonna be? Detective Bad or Lang? Oh, Bad. Today I gave testimony in court today, as a member of the Yatagarasu. Yeah, Mr. Bad, you look well, all things considered. By the way, have you noticed that elements within the ring have begun moving? They're probably fighting over who should succeed. Over who should be the next boss. Although, to be honest, I wish I could forget I'd ever heard of that smuggling ring. Langzy says, thoroughly bite the poisonous snake from head to tail. No one runs afoul of the law and escapes this wolf's fangs. I'll get you all yet. Ah, youth. When did I become so old, I wonder? I've begun noticing the grey hairs in my beard more. I'm thinking about retiring my mirror. He does love to look at himself in the mirror, that's true. I can only imagine how terrifying it must be to notice a grey hair. Oh, Pink Princess, really? Oh god. Am I even going to be able to read these? I was a Pink Princess and the Pink Badger, all in the span of 2 days. Talk about busy. But it's alright, because I got a letter from my beloved Edgeworth. Please take care of your hip, and when you wish to speak, first take off your headpiece. What do you mean by that last statement? It's not like I enjoy being under a headpiece every time I see him. Alien some cream fuzzy pink animal. Jesus. Sounds like a terrible idea. Wow. Alright, there we go. There's actually more! Jesus. High Prosecutor's office is room 1202. Whoop! I feel so much better now that the trials are over. And as always, your legal prowess was top-notch, sir. Yeah, nothing beat the look on Mr. Alva's face when you revealed the ring secrets. I was amazed. You're like a totally different person when you step into a courtroom. Mr. Edgeworth is always 10 times fiercer in court. Based on the information Mr. Alba offered up, they've begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Franziska and Agent Lang. So what are your plans now, Kay? Oh well, we've taken care of the creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure. Hey, I know. Maybe I'll just keep on being Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Are you still trying to steal my job, pal? Just kidding, just kidding. I can't steal something so important to you, Gummy. Whew, what a relief. Okay, yes. Even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become a great thief? Of course. But I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yatagarasu, so I'm going to hold off on doing anything until I make a tight 3-person team of my own. A 3-person team? A 3-person team of young beauties, the same age as me, if possible. With those criteria, I highly doubt you'll find the 2 other people you need. My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what was so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only things I will ever steal are the truths that have been hidden away. I'm gonna work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed. Let's both strive for such a future. Well, I guess it's time for me to get going. I see. Okay, keep your chin up and stay strong, okay? And don't be a stranger. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the window and sneak in. If you could, I'd appreciate it if you came in through the building's front door. It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home has been broken for forever. Oh, one last thing before I go. Let's take a group picture. Just the 3 of us. Yeah, commemorative photo. Every big case has to end with one. No. Hey, why not? Don't tell me you're camera shy, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course not, Detective. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from this, sir. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Stop that. I can't be seen doing that. Okay, I'm totally taking it now. Say cheese! And thus, the long tale of the KGA incident came to a close. It saw the demise of a smuggling ring and the birth of a little great thief. But there is little time to rest and relax. For I am eager to tackle the investigation into a new case. The reason for my eagerness is my want to pursue the truth, and my want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor, that is my new creed. Ah, that's a nice picture. And there it is. Boom. The end of Ace Attorney Investigations. Although I will be following this with Gyakuten Kenji 2, or its actual name, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, The Prosecutor's Path. So, yeah, look forward to that. I'm looking forward to it, because I've thoroughly enjoyed every single Ace Attorney game I've played. Not a single time have I been bored. Regardless of when I'm recording it, I do yawn a lot. It's because I'm reading. Oh, it's great. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. But either way, that is going to be the end of this session. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, take care.